Let's release a token, and NFTs are definitely a new driver for brands to engage with our consumers.
I have to say that yes, because their objective was to work on their acquisition and to work on something which is very important for brands, which is the brand love. You know, how as a brand you want to know how you're going to activate your brand lovers and how you're going to make sure that people knows you. And NFTs are a very useful and new toolbox for brands to attract, but as well activate their customer base.
You're using NFT as a service, if I can put it this way, to push again the boundaries of UX. What should UX stand for in 2023? User and brand empowerment?
Yeah, I mean, Web3 can look complicated, and it is. Right now, the UX is pretty bad. I don't know if you guys are familiar with crypto or NFTs, but you often ask to download a wallet to maybe buy some crypto, and you have to interact with crazy stuff like blockchain, gas fees, and stuff like that, which is way too complicated for mass adoption. And we, at Cohort, we believe it's not necessary. I mean, there is no need really for the end user to have to interact with that level of complexity. At Cohort, we believe that it can be very, very simple. You don't need to put the complexity in front of the customer. You can hide it and make it very, very simple, both for the teams internally, but of course, mostly for the end users. So ETAM, it's very, why we picked ETAM, because ETAM customers are women between 25 and 50 years old, living in Paris, but in the rest of France. They are not the typical crypto natives. They are not the typical crypto geeks, you know, spending his time on Discord and having tons of NFTs. They are regular shoppers, you know. And we are very, very happy because one of our, we know that one of ETAM customers has a wanadu.com email address, which shows that it's maybe not the crypto natives, you know.
Directly to takeaways. Okay, easy. So for us, it's really so it's very new as for everyone here, and the thing we are mostly looking for is to build new business models. That's what we are exploring today. Of course, to invent new business model, we need as well new experiences. But as we just said, for having new experiences, we need a much better UX, so we'll come back to that. So yeah, as first takeaway, it's just, for now, it's very niche. We are expecting a lot of players coming on this kind of experience, but it's too new. I don't know if we can go into details, but as we said, I think it changed a bit, but when we started trying to implement NFTs in games, we had something like 10 steps before the customers could just play with the game. And I should not say play, because at the time maybe you heard about it, it was the crypto kitties, so just collecting some digital kitties. So we are still far away of having the kind of games that we are experimenting in the console, PC, or mobile today. So that's the first, maybe first takeaway. Second takeaway, the business models. Yeah, I don't know how far I have to dig.
Let me follow up on this business model question, because if we do take into account Web3 is a total shift in paradigm, the web, what does it say to the future of business models overall?
Thank you to help me a bit. For us, the major shift in terms of business model is that we want to give back part of the value created with into an ecosystem, gaming ecosystem. So the core concept of Web3 is decentralization and data ownership. So the idea today, the way we are building games, as you know, that as a developer, we own everything that we are producing. So even when gamers are buying in-game items, and that's the main business model today, on mobile app, actually, the games are free, and players are purchasing items, sword, armor, car, everything that you can think about. But all these are just like access to services. They don't own this data. So the idea here is to open our economy and try to find a way for the players to own this data, this in-game asset. Why should they purchase it, own it? The idea that for us, the situation is a bit unfair to the players, because they are spending a lot, but in the end, when they stop playing, they don't get anything back. So it's not like purchasing toys like Lego or Playmobil, and that's what we are aiming for.
It's super easy to educate actually brands about the fact that they're probably going to have to give back at some point.
No, it's a challenge, and it's a very good point, but I think that's what is attractive as well, because it's going to create new dynamics for them. So if you open up a bit, then it's going to unleash a lot of opportunities for brands, collaboration, what I can do with other brands. You're going to see as well new dynamics between your community. You could have some of your customers trading some of your digital assets, and that could create a lot of added value for brands as well. So I believe that brands are okay with it, because they know the reward will be big for them.
Interoperability is definitely the cherry on the cake here.
It's kind of tricky because there is many kinds of interoperability. So blockchain Web3 is like a first layer, a layer of ownership, a technology built to create a marketplace to create to help to allow transactions. And before blockchain, there were no such kind of technology. There was attempt, all failed, meaning that it was all hackable. And now we have a secured technology, and that's why we need actually this kind of blockchain or decentralized technology. So that's the first layer, and on top of this layer, you can think then, if it works, you can think about the other layer of interoperability. Sorry, and for the gaming industry, the most important one is to find an interoperable a standard for 3D assets. That's really our goal today. With all the metaverse from Meta/Facebook, they started, not just gaming company, but a lot of other companies are starting to create alliance or consortium around this concept of standardization of assets. But we know already that for music, for instance, MP3 are just pictures like JPEG. So it's just the next step.
I mean, again, Séraphie, consumers and brands and users universes. So how can we make it, a little bit more, again, coming together?
I think it's going to be step by step. Today we already live in digital worlds in a way. We spend a lot of time in WhatsApp, in social media, in gaming. But it doesn't mean that we are going to spend our whole life, in this kind of environment. I think we are so far from the actual metaverse vision that even if today we succeed in implementing this data ownership layer of the web, this is a huge achievement. So if we do that first, we will do a lot of progress. So I'm focusing on that, and I think it's going to take the next, 18 to 24 months for that to reach really scale. And if we succeed in doing that, then I'm sure consumers will start to use in their daily life this new tech without really noticing it. It's going to be very easy, very casual. And then, the next step will be more immersive experience.
Web3 technology are definitely on the spot for being energy intensive. How can we make, or maybe can we be part of the solution for a change rather than the problem? Can we think of producing, creating better NFTs, better metaverses, better blockchains, cryptos, even?
Just on that one, sorry, because I love this topic. I think crypto and blockchain is a very interesting industry if you want to look at energy transitioning. Because if we look back in 5 years ago, we only had very energy consuming protocols, the proof of works, and now we have these proof of stakes, which are really secured, robust, and working well. And the whole transition happened in less than 5 years. And I'm not sure we have a lot of other industries where we can say the same. So I think it's a really good example of when consumer and media scrutiny pushed a whole ecosystem to change and to innovate to reach carbon neutrality. So I was because I've been in the space for a while now, so I've seen the changes, and it's been really fast. So NFTs today are, the one we use with Cohort, for instance, are carbon neutral. So it's, and 2 years ago, it was just impossible to do that.
Congratulations, though. And Nicolas, very last word with you.
So in fact, the question is always to know if this energy consumption worth it. And so for now, what we can see is that no one really understands what it is about, what our NFTs are about. So that's always too much in terms of energy consumption, but you don't know why, actually. So that's really, again, we really need to find a proper use case. Then once it's used, we will be able to evaluate if it worth it or not. Actually, yes, I agree. I think it's worth it because it's not just that there is a lot of effort putting in this question. It's as well that we are already seeing how much engagement it's created with the consumers. So that's really important.
Very interesting perspective here on Web3 technology. Thank you so much for enlightening actually our minds on this real life flash fantasy type of question about Web3. Thank you so much. I guess it definitely deserves some applause here.